What's up, Cage Nation? It's Kevin Jackowitz here with the Cage Review, and today I'm going to review the movie Bright. This is a David Ayer film starring Will Smith and Joel Edgerton, and it's a Netflix-made movie, and I didn't know what to expect coming from it, especially since David Ayer's last film was Suicide Squad, and we all know how that went. Very mixed reviews, and a lot of people are calling Ayer a one-trick pony. You know, he can do one thing and he can do it reasonably well. And I say reasonably because some people don't even think he can do it all that well. So it's the movie about two cops in an alternate reality where you have fairies, you have elves, orcs. They even have a couple of cameos of like a dragon and one of a centaur. So, you know, they're kind of building up this universe, very mystical in nature. And I thought it was a cool idea, and I mean, I'm sure you could guess right off the bat that there are, you know, ties between the different races of humans and orcs and elves, and, you know, how that translates to our society and racism. And they definitely hit that nail on the head several times. And the performances, I thought, were pretty good for the most part, at least for the main characters. Will Smith is Will Smith, you know. He's serious when he needs to be. He brings his really good comic timing to any movie he does. So you always get to look forward to, you know, at least some very funny moments, usually with a Will Smith movie. Joel Edgerton playing the orc, I thought he did a really good job too. That had to be a hard role to play in some ways, you know, because he's actually kind of the minority in this situation, which is something you have to kind of put yourself in that experience, and it's kind of hard to do if you haven't really had that experience. So that's something that, you know, he did a pretty good job with, I think. Noomi Rapace, she played Leia, and that was a pretty cool performance. I like her mannerisms. I like how she was kind of this beautiful, dangerous creature with really elegant moves, and some of the mannerisms she did really helped aid that. So that's what, you know, I liked about the performances. And, you know, coming from a guy who did a film like Fury and then went to Suicide Squad and now this, I'm like, it's just kind of taking steps downhill. You know, the movie starts with this, you know, supposed to be funny scene with this fairy and a bird feeder, and Will Smith has to go out and kill the fairy, and just some kind of cheesiness to it. And, you know, right off the bat, you know, one of the first comments is fairy lives don't matter today, which again goes straight into the parallels between our society and our racism and shit like that in the movie. So, you know, they're making it an intent for people to notice that, which I didn't think they really needed to push so hard. We get it, you know, different races. We got this. We're smart enough as an audience to realize what you're doing. You don't have to keep pushing it. And, you know, they established other race parallels really, really early on in the movie. Will Smith, you know, gets shot at the very, very beginning of the movie, and it's because, you know, his partner is buying a burrito and it's not really watching his back. And that leads into, you know, Will Smith questioning, are you a cop first or are you an orc first? And it goes into a scene where there's a bunch of cops beating down a few orcs, and, you know, basically the whole, you know, inception of Black Lives Matter, of course, is, you know, a lot of the police brutality on blacks. And so, you know, it's just very in your face. And I do like some of the parallels that they had there, and you know, it's like, okay, you have this guy who is an orc and he's watching his, you know, other fellow orcs getting beat down by other police. And I do think that, like, okay, well, what if this was a black guy, you know, as a cop watching cops beat down, you know, other black guys, and you know, there are some questions, valid questions, that I think it would bring up there. So I did like that about it. But sometimes just way too on the head. And then, you know, leading into this, you find out that there's these people called Brights. Brights are able to use magic wands, you know, a la Harry Potter and stuff, except a little bit different here. You have to be a Bright to use a wand, otherwise it can kill you. They're very powerful, Brights and wands. And so we find out there is a Bright who escapes this elvish institution, and she steals a wand and she's trying to escape with this other elf's wand. And this brings about a lot of groups, police, orcs, gangsters, just regular human gangsters, trying to get this wand so that they can change their lives because it grants wishes. And it kind of goes into, you know, internal police corruption. There's a scene where these cops, these four cops, want to steal the wand for themselves, and they're willing to kill Will Smith's character Ward and Jacoby the orc, his partner. And so there's this dilemma that Will Smith has, you know, does he kill Jacoby, who essentially doesn't really deserve it, or does he kill the cops, who are the ones who are, you know, corrupt? And ultimately he kills the cops. Tries to do the right thing for the right reasons. And right after that scene, there's a group of Mexican gangsters that comes up and he's like, you know, these cops are shooting each other, and you know, there must be a wand here. And that actually starts a really cool chase scene. One of the better things about this movie is the action sequences in it. I thought the chase scene with the Mexican gangsters trying to steal the wand away from Will Smith, you know, his Ward character Jacoby, and this elvish girl they found with the wand, led to some really cool moments. And then, you know, you get into other parts of the movie where the action is a little bit more magic based, you know, like where the wand has this spell where it can't get, you know, too far from its owner. And they're driving and the elvish girl starts freaking out, the wand lights up, and then the front of the car just crumbles. And it's like it impacts absolutely nothing. And I thought that was really cool. A really, really cool scene. So, the movie wasn't without its good parts. It was kind of fun. But again, just so many times it goes back to, you know, the race issue, and I think it was just overdone. You know, there's a scene where the same Mexican gang, you know, they're cornering them, and you know, Will Smith's talking about, I don't want to die, let's just give him the wand. And then Jacoby says, you know, I would rather die a hero than, you know, give it up. And, you know, Will Smith is like, why do you want to die for a world that doesn't give a shit about you? And so you can see as I'm talking that there's just so many examples of how they push this. I mean, overall, if you shut your brain off and you're not trying to deal with plot and you're not, you know, looking for all these things, very cool fight scenes. Some of the action is very well done. The chase scene, as I said, is a really good one. There's a couple of fight scenes where Numi's character and a couple of her followers are just destroying the nightclub. And there's a bunch of orcs at first that get slaughtered. There's the Mexican gangsters that get slaughtered, and then there's a bunch of cops. And it shows how powerful they are, but you know, pretty cool moments in there. And another thing that I thought was really cool was the images of, you know, the people that were killed with magic. You know, they're kind of like smoldering with this orange glow to them still, so you know that they're killed by magic. And it looks very Suicide Squad-esque, honestly. You know, very bright colors on a dark background. So it looked kind of cool, but I don't know. Overall, the movie was just okay for me. It was, like I said, if you're willing to shut your brain off, it's kind of a fun ride. But I think one of the biggest parts of this movie is it tries to make you think, but it just doesn't have what it takes to back that up. So, you know, it's cool for a watch, you know, on a home alone night. You know, you just want to see something different. This is a good movie. If you're looking for, you know, epic battles or really structured plot stories, or, you know, some type of thinking movie, this is not the one for you. That's for sure. So, not bad. I mean, it definitely wasn't terrible, but I mean, it's typical David Ayer. It has a lot of the problems that Suicide Squad had. So, I mean, take that for what it's worth. So that's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Did you like the movie? Have you seen it yet? Do you want to see it? You know, like I said, it's good for what it is for Netflix. It's not something I would go out to the theater to see. So that's my take on it. And if you like the review, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackowitz with the Cage Nation. Cage Nation out.
It's going down for real.